available in our mother India, that will be giving the knowledge for awakening everyone's to the reality of life. And this is mainly helpful in one way or other to raise from the lower levels of consciousness to higher levels. Needless to mention, man differs from other animals in terms of psychology of going for education. We have so many spiritual places. It can be temples, mosques, churches, all these things. They are going to provide us a unifying moral code. And they may be adding some rules of games of life. And finally, the education basically is a technique, however primitive it may be. It is only for the transformation of our culture. Friends, in the previous ages, in the old ages, education is mainly meant for character development. And it is based on some spiritual values. And it is used to be fostered by simple and natural lifestyle. Now, in the olden scriptures, although it is very basic, they used to say that you should have harmoniousness with the nature. They used to teach everything with the principle of simple living, high thinking. That used to be the moral. And ultimate goal of any education, if you see, it is not to secure any employment at that time or a better position, just to make students as good humans in the society. With this principle, Center for Value Education of NIT Warangal, it is going with the cultivation of educational system such a way that we go for defining the education, disposition of the education, delivery of knowledge, design of good curriculum, and also direction for the purpose of knowledge. As you know, as we have been doing education, we have 5 types of education: formal education, informal and non-formal, lifelong education, and value education. This Center for Value Education is mainly to give that value to the life. That is the basic motto of this Center for Value Education. It is basically aimed to make the students to know the basic purpose of life. With this motto, all other clubs will be functioning, but Center for Value Education is to give this principle of enlightenment. Now, we are fortunate to have today Sriman Radheshyamdas, who is an alumni of IIT Bombay, and he was a topper at IIT Mumbai, and he is compiler of youth books like Stress to Smile, and he has also gone for 5 volumes of Essence of Gita. After completing his masters from IIT Mumbai, he worked in CECRI as senior research fellow, and he was a mechanical engineer at Thermax and Mather and Platt companies for a few years. And then he took up this great task of as a being role of celibate trainer. He used to be mentoring so many youth, and he is also corporate advisor. And he is having so many leadership positions. He is the president of ISKCON Pune for the last 20 years, with leading a community of around 6,000 members there. He is one of the 4 presidential board members of ISKCON Abbots Hyderabad Temple. And recently, the General Body Commission of ISKCON has nominated him as 5 GDOs, that is Global Duty Officers, for the global initiative of ISKCON from the year 2019. And Sriman Radheshyamdas is being appointed as one of the GDOs for the training youth like in United States of America. And he has done a lot of contribution to the youth. He is a youth trainer for the last 25 years across India. And he has designed a Bhagavad Gita introduction course with international acclaimed PowerPoint shows. And he also bagged some awards like Global Excellence Award winner for educating youth in Bhagavad Gita and Jiva Goswami Award winner for innovative youth outreach. Sriman Radheshyamdas is a good trainer and educator, and he is engager of youth from Pune, Kolkata, Kanpur, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Dharwad, Belgaum, Mysore, and other places. Sir has presented many seminars at international universities like Stanford University, University of Washington, Cornell University, etc. Currently, he is visiting Boston at regular periods to help in reaching out the youth in Northwestern Italy and Boston University, MIT, and Harvard University. And lastly, he is corporate seminar presenter at Bank of America, Infosys, and Deutsche Bank, Cognizant, Persistent, etc. With this introduction, I request the chief guest of today's function to come on to the dais and grace the occasion. Register sir will welcome Radheshyamdas by presenting a bouquet.
Radheshyamdas ji, senior faculty members, Professor Ramamurthy garu, Professor Vayanreddy garu, Professor Hare Krishna garu, and friends. We are very fortunate to have an illustrious global leader like Radheshyam ji with us to give his message, particularly about the human values, and also I think he's going to talk about the mind management. Well, friends, we are really fortunate to have him with us, and then he will be talking about an important topic to all of us. Mind management is very important because everything mind controls us, unfortunately, instead of we controlling the mind. So whatever mind says, we keep doing it, and then afterwards regret that we are not able to control many of the things. In this institute, we are all youngsters. It's most important for us to understand and appreciate the values in the life. And then I really appreciate Professor Hare Krishna for taking the initiative and running this Center for Value Education in our institute. I was just mentioning to Radheshyamji that because of the COVID, there is a small break of 2 years. It's not a small break, rather big break. As a result of which, there is a break in the continuity of the culture of this institute. As a result, what happened, the ethos, the principles and the values what this institute has been passing on to the successive generations, I felt there is a break. So, in between for the 2 years, since the candidates had to manage from their own homes, so they got used to their own way of working, learning, writing exams and all that. And now there is a discontinuity in the culture of this institute. So I think it's right time for all of us to rebuild the culture of this institute and make it again once again an institute of great importance. Well, friends, we should appreciate as a person just the importance of human life. Swami Sukhabodhananda says that every week, one day or for half day, we should behave as if we don't have one of the organs. One day you plaster your one of the eyes and then try. One day you just bandage your one of the hands and then try to manage. One day you just fold your leg and then tight and then try to manage. Then you will realize how fortunate we are to have all our limbs working properly, and how fortunate we are that we can manage much better than many of the people. It's not only body activities but also our mental activities. Just we are able to manage our activities, that is very important. Unfortunately, we always live either in the past or in the future and never enjoy the present. So as a result, we are always either regretting what we have done or not done, and apprehensive of what we should be doing or what the future holds on for us. So as a result, we have a lot of insecurities. I was just going through one post about the insecurities today. So I'll just quickly go through. The only thing that stops you from evolving is insecurity feeling. When you feel insecure, your intelligence fades and your attitude becomes biased. Your body's hormones have many changes. Your body produces a lot of adrenaline and you experience weakness. Your immune system is affected. Look at the losses of insecurity. See how much damage it can do. On an emotional and mental level, insecurities blur our thinking and your attitude becomes flawed. The ability to see things correctly is badly affected and has a fatal impact on your social behavior. Insecure person doesn't know how to behave friendly, how to be trustworthy and how to trust others. Trust is the bite of insecurity. Insecurities don't let you trust anyone. Thus, you get trapped in a critical situation, in a vicious cycle of insecurity, poison, anger, and bad behavior. You don't realize your behavior is not appropriate. When this happens, the excitement and the desire to do something new is gone. You miss out on many new opportunities in life. It becomes the end of creative entrepreneurship and the end of all progress and a happy, joyous life. When you think you don't need anything, you get the ability to fulfill the desires of others. Happiness is always found in those who are huge. Life always goes on to get joy, and the highest joy is in attaining the God. We should always try to attain God. So this is the one message. So as I was mentioning, we suffer from so many insecurities. While in the campus, whether we get the grades, whether we get the placements, then afterwards what will happen, what is happening to our parents, our brothers, siblings, so many things, so many, in every aspect, we try to get ourselves insecure. And then unfortunate thing is, most of the time we try to look and search for reasons to be unhappy, instead of being happy with what we have. And then we are also coming across so many cases. Just yesterday, my neighbor was telling that one boy was given a punishment. He's a maybe 5th or 6th class boy. He was given a punishment to kneel down in the class for some mistake. And then the boy, on the same day, he committed suicide. So we are seeing good number of people committing suicide or taking aggressive, very serious steps because they are not able to cope with the situation, stress or tension and all these things. Unfortunately, we are all hoping and thinking that we should always be successful. We have not been trained to face the challenges and limitations or failures in life. I think Swamiji will tell us that how to face the challenges, how we should get ourselves prepared to face the challenges and also failures. That is also the essence of this value education. So with these few words, I thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity, and I am also looking forward to hear to the Swamiji for mind management. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Director Professor N.V. Ramana Rauji and Dean Students Welfare Professor P. R.V. Kumar, Registrar Shri S. Govardhan Rauji, and faculty advisors V. Hari Kumar. And all of you students, thank you for gracing this occasion and taking interest on the subject of art of harnessing mind power. As our sir was telling, one of my concerns in reaching out to universities across the globe is to help students manage their own mind. When I go to Boston, in Massachusetts and Harvard, and also University of Washington, Cornell, when I give a list of 25 topics, most of them will choose this topic, art of harnessing mind power. So, as you see, there are 4 topics. I will try to cover at least 3 out of these 4. It's a very exhaustive treatment, but the subject is pretty simple. It's very easily presented in a way students can understand. I will request your rapt attention. And if anybody wishes to ask any question in between, if you raise the hand, mic will come to you. And you can stop me in between any time you wish, and you can ask me a question, okay? Otherwise, at the end of the session, I can answer you. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuruvanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. First of all, I offer my namaskar to my Guru, by whose grace I was enlightened in this wonderful knowledge of the Gita, which I am practicing and I am reaching out to the world. I am eternally grateful to him. So this is the first part, scientific understanding of intelligence, mind, senses and body. What is the mechanism? If you know the mechanism, you can be saved from so much turmoil in the mind. So these are some of the questions you are going to get answers today. How can I control emotional outbursts? Like you see here, see the person on the left side, the manager, he has lost his control now, you see? So when we become extremely upset like this, on the other hand, you see someone is very cheerful in all situations. So you have the choice how you want to be by managing your mind. Sometimes we are also subject to overthinking. Any of you have experienced in the night when you lie down, repeatedly mind is brooding over something. For 2-3 hours you are unable to sleep. It's called overthinking. So all these things affect our personality, our work, our confidence. So how can we control that? Here you find someone is being criticized by his peers, and sometimes people can't take it. In one of the IITs, 3 boys committed suicide in the same year, 2019. So that's because sometimes the academic pressure or peer pressure can be very, very compelling, that a person loses all hope in life. And so how can I not allow our mind to be programmed by the environment or around us? Sometimes the environment is encouraging, sometimes very discouraging. Because life is not a bed of roses always. Sometimes you have to face challenging situations in life. I was just contemplating on how the Pandavas, they faced failure after failure, but I don't think they ever contemplated on suicide. You see, their wife Draupadi was insulted. They were driven away to jungle. Bhima was fed with poison. So many things happened to them. But you can see they had a tremendous inner strength. So I feel that all our children should be taught not only to jump up when they succeed, but they should be taught to, have the inner strength to face failures with courage also. Okay, how can we forget unpleasant memories? Here you see mother and father are actually having a fight to see that the child gets the best education. Mother is saying our son should be sent to international school. Father says, I don't have so much money, let him go to your average school. So you can see that sometimes there are differences in opinion that makes us break each other's hearts. Or somebody is forcing his opinion on others. So how can we forget such unpleasant memories? Once you spoil the relationship with near and dear one, it is very difficult to repair it. All of you think for a moment, in your life, there are only 7 or 8 people with whom you talk every day. If you can have a sweet relationship with those 7 or 8 people, you have conquered the whole world. Because the other part of the world doesn't know so much about you. But these people work with you every day. Say, for example, a man, his wife, his mother, father, and son, daughter. When he goes to office, a few colleagues. So therefore, in case we had an unpleasant exchange with the near and dear one, so how do we forget it and continue staying with them? As you all are students, I am sure you are interested to know how to bring the mind back to the studies when mind is wandering away, getting drifted by distractions. How can we get increased concentration? All this will be answered in the course of the class today. If you are attentive and you jot down some points which are going to be given a solution, you will see that you will get answers to all this. See, this man, his mother wants to keep him with herself. She doesn't want him to go with his wife. So you see that both are pulling hands on either side. So I was asking the people, why are they pulling the hands? I expected a very simple answer that they both are trying to control him. Mother is saying, you are my son. Wife is saying, you are my husband. But they gave a different answer. Somebody told me, both want money from him. So you can see that in this way people, when you are put in an awkward situation, how to keep a positive mindset in a family situation. So for all these things, you need to have a strong mind with which you can face these situations. Similarly, sometimes you go on working. You go from 12 hours to 13 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours. And then you break your head. You don't know how to manage your schedule because you have only 24 hours a day. But then your number of WhatsApp numbers in your smartphone are increasing more and more. That's how we feel pressure. So how do we handle pressure in life? How do we prioritize? Yeah. And there are negative people all around us. You'll find they may ridicule you, mock at you, discourage you. So how to not absorb negativity from the environment around? It's a very important thing. Sir was telling about how sometimes people feel inferiority complex because of the discouragement they get from the environment. So you can't change that. But how can you change yourself to respond in a way that you can remain internally strong? You see, man has controlled even lions by putting them in a cage. He has even brought the elephants to sit on the stool with all the 4 legs. Man has become so mighty and powerful. He is considered the crown jewel of all the living beings on earth. But such a powerful man has failed to control his own mind. That is his problem. He has become a slave of these three great enemies called lust, anger, and greed. You see, lust means adamant desire for the prohibited things. That's called lust. Adamant desire for that which is prohibited. For example, tobacco is prohibited. If somebody chews it, they will get ulcers in the mouth. Somebody drinks liquor, they will get liver cirrhosis. Somebody smokes a cigarette, they will get lung cancer. Somebody has illicit connections with different women, they are going to get sexually transmitted diseases. So these are all called prohibited activities. Not good for us. They don't do any good for you. If they do any good, right now you can stand up and tell me what good it does for you. If any of your students tell me that, sir, it relieves us of the tension when I smoke a cigarette. But that is illusory. Ask the doctors, they will tell you. It gives you a kick and you feel as if you are free from tension. And then it brings you down to a depression zone below. It takes you to the negative. Then you smoke one more cigarette. Kick, again it takes you up. Again it brings you more depression. Then you take more cigarettes. That's how you become a chain smoker. Or you become alcoholic. So you will see that these activities are prohibited, but they are very pleasing in the beginning and they become poison at the end. You will see that. So lust means adamant desire for the prohibited things. Anger means if you are not given them, then the mind will scream. If you give them, mind will want more and more. Like when I was a small kid, my mom used to take me to shop and purchase some things for me. One time she gave me this Gems chocolate. You know Gems? The round one? Small one. That was the first time I ate it. It was so delightful. I asked her, what is this? Where does this come from? Then she showed me a packet. Guess what? I told her, please give me the whole packet. And after eating one packet, do you think I was satisfied? I asked for 4 more. And that is called greed. Actually, cocoa chocolate is not good for the teeth. My mom told me that you will lose all your teeth if you eat so much cocoa chocolate. So that which is not good for us, we want more and more. That's called greed. Lust means I want. Greed means I want more. That is greed. Anger means if you don't give me what I want, I will scream. So in the Gita, Lord Krishna, while talking to Arjuna, Arjuna told this famous verse, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayori vasudushkaram. You see, Arjuna is telling, my dear Krishna, this mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, very strong. Oh, Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. Like that he is saying. You can see this, see in the storm is being swept away, you see. Like that the mind is so mighty, it goes against, like this you see. How mind can be as strong as a wind, a forceful hurricane or something. Just as you cannot stop a hurricane, similarly Arjuna is saying that mind is so difficult to control, he is saying. The mind is also like a naughty child, he is saying. So he is giving a few comparisons. The mind is like a naughty child, he says. The mind is like a wind, whirlwind. Right. So our mind can be as naughty as this. Can be like a mad elephant. So as you saw this, mind can be as nasty as a mad elephant. Actually, elephant is a very mighty creature. It has tremendous power. You saw he was lifting the whole scooter. There is another video which shows he is even not only that, you see what he can lift. See how effortlessly he throws things. So I showed you 3 examples. I showed you the wind example, showed you the child example, I showed you the elephant example. So when mind is impure, mind can be like a mad elephant or like a naughty child, or as a whirlwind. So therefore, we should not allow the mind to overpower our intelligence. Let us see how. See, here is the example of a good elephant.
So cute.
See the same, if the elephant is trained well, they can even, give blessings.
I could hear his trunk jingling.
Yeah, he's got a trunk full of change.
See, elephant is drawing an elephant picture. Don't you think it requires creativity?
Okay, let's sit down to paint the picture and listen to music.
She's even drawing the flowers. So you saw how creative elephant can be. See, for elephant to be so creative, he has to have a very calm mind. And with some amount of training, the elephant is able to be so focused. The previous elephant, which I showed you, was giving blessings. This elephant is doing some creative work of drawing an elephant and some flowers and everything, which requires concentration, focus. Therefore, our mind is compared to an elephant. If you have a trained mind, that's like a trained elephant. If you have an untrained mind, that's like a mad elephant. Just like, see, there is one more here. In India, they even take elephant on procession. If you see here, in temples and all, they take the Lord on the back of the elephant procession. Thousands of people can be keeping the elephant in the middle without any fear. So, that's the reason mind is compared to an elephant. By training, one can make mind behave like a good elephant. That's the main point. So, now we are going to enter into the subject of what the mind is and how does it function. What is the mechanism? You all are engineering students. You will easily understand how systematically this knowledge is present in the Vedic literature. So Thomas Huxley says, there is one thing in this universe which is neither matter nor force. He says it is consciousness. I'll tell you a simple example. See, I have a mobile in which I keep alarm clock. Say at 3:30 in the morning, I rise every day. Someday I did not switch off the alarm and say I go to the washroom to take a bath. The alarm will keep on ringing. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Every 5 minutes it will keep on giving me, indication that I should get up. Because it is a dead machine. The machine has no consciousness. Imagine if one of my friends is sleeping next to me and I tell him, get me up at 3:30 in the morning. I get up at 3:20 and I go to take a bath. 3:30 he will check, I am not there. So he will understand that I have gotten up. And he will not be again and again telling me, get up, get up, get up. But the machine keeps saying, get up, get up, get up, because machine is dead. It doesn't have any knowledge. So there are two things in this world, Jada and Chetan. Chetan means you are conscious. This table is Jada. It has no consciousness. Like all of you are sitting on a chair. You are conscious. Chair is not. If chair is conscious, chair will shout at you, "Hey, why are you sitting on my top?" Huh? Because chair is not conscious. It is dead matter. So one should know the difference between the two. You are Chetan Atma and the chair is a Jada Padarth, Jada Vastu. Like aeroplane can be in an airport for 1,000,000 years, it will not budge an inch unless a pilot gets into the cockpit and then it takes off after that. So a living personality has to get into the plane, only then it will fly. So that's the thing he's saying. Huh?
So, what's through this door? Where do we go? Is it nothing?
So, you all know these different phases of life, from childhood to youth to old age and death. So, what comes after death? So, in the Gita, Lord Krishna says this, that one should know the difference between these three things, body, mind and soul. What you see in the mirror is your body. Inside your gross body made of Panchamahabhut, there's a subtle body, which you call as the mind, manas. Then inside that, there is soul, which is the real you, the yellow one. So Lord Krishna says that the yellow one which I have shown you here, soul, Atma, he never dies. He is a resident of the body. When you leave this body, you accept another body, just like you all are wearing one dress today. Tomorrow you will wear another dress. The dress is changing, you are the same person. So the Atma is resident. Now why do you need to know this? Because in the subsequent slides, I am going to tell you about the mind. Mind is the covering over the Atma. And then over the mind, there is body, Sharir. And the mind is the one which is creating all the trouble for you. And if you can know what to do with the mind, you can actually gain control over the mind and you can dictate the mind to behave in a proper manner. You can train the mind, educate the mind, empower the mind, and not degrade with your mind. Uddaredatmanatmanam atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hi atmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanah. Krishna says that elevate yourself with the mind, don't degrade with the mind. So like here you see, the soul is different from the body. The real you never die. Just like we say, energy is neither created nor destroyed. Energy disappearing in one form, reappears in another form without any loss or gain. The law of conservation of energy, you say. Similarly, the Atma is a soul. He is never destroyed. But he cannot be cut by scissor. He can't be burned by fire. He can't be moistened by water. He cannot be wetted by water. All that is said in the Gita. So now, you see this mechanism, most important thing here. There is intelligence, there is mind, and there are senses. You know these 5 senses. These are the senses which get the stimuli from the external world. Eyes, nose, tongue, ears and skin. We call it as Jnanendriya. You get the jnana, knowledge through this, and you give it to the mind. Look at this hand. It has 5 fingers. Shrotram, Chakshu, Sparshanam, Rasanam, Granam, Evacha, Adhishtaya, Manashchayam, Vishayan, Upasevati. This is the mind. And these 5 senses are supplying input to the mind. And mind is the storehouse of all these thoughts which you have given input, unfulfilled desires, previous experiences and everything. Like for example, sometimes you see a dog, you are afraid because your previous experience of seeing somebody getting bitten by a dog. So you have that experience. Or you have eaten a gulab jamun, you know it is very tasty. So you have that previous experience. Similarly, you have some unfulfilled desire. So you have a desire that I want to go to West, I want to become an entrepreneur. You have many desires stored in your mind. These are called unfulfilled desires. And in this way, mind it's like a hard disk where you store all the softwares. And the intelligence is like a CPU. Central processing unit, what does it do? It gives decisions. So intelligence decides and the mind consults the intelligence and then the senses act. Now let us see one more example. It will become very clear for you. You see the yellow band I have shown you, that is like the soul, the real you. And the red one I have shown you is like the mind over the soul. The mind has got many acquired bad qualities. Just like when the rainwater is pure, when it touches the ground, it becomes muddy. Similarly, our mind is originally pure, but when we come to this world, due to bad association, mind gets many impurities. Like, for example, some of you have experienced somebody has a postponing tendency or being inattentive, or somebody doesn't take initiative or getting irritated easily. In this way, there are many bad qualities we have acquired in this world by our associations. So, these bad qualities are stored in the mind and they cause us trouble. But you can erase these bad qualities. Do you know that? Today we will be learning some mechanisms. How do you erase the unwanted qualities in you? Okay, let me ask you a question. How many of you have observed yourself? What type of person am I? Like that you have made an observation of yourself. Yes, raise your hand. Let us see. Have any of you observed about yourself? Yes, there are a few hands of about 10, 15 hands you see. Thank you. So by observing yourself, you can know what I am good at and what I need to improve. We call it as a SWOT analysis. You know SWOT analysis? Strength, weakness, opportunity, threats. It's called SWOT. SWOT analysis. You can do a SWOT analysis of yourself. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What opportunities I have in this world which I can tap? And what are the threats? So these 4 things. So in the same manner, you can observe what bad qualities. We call it as a room for improvement, we call it. See, this is exploitative mentality shown by Ravana here. And a service seva bhav is shown by Hanuman here. You can see the opposite mentalities. So when mind is impure, it has exploitative mentality like Ravan. When mind is pure, it has a seva bhav like Hanuman. As simple as this. It's not very difficult to understand. These 3, as I told you, they make us lag in this world. And if these 3 impurities, which are like viruses in the hard disk of our mind, if you remove this, then the mind is free from all anxieties. See, the soul is like the operator sitting here in the computer. Computer is like our body. And CPU is our intelligence. And the hard disk is the mind, I told you. And then the servo motors are our senses. Is this example clear to you? Because you all use computers, therefore I have put this example for you. It's very easy to understand. Like for example, whatever I program in my mind, my hands and legs are accordingly going to move. In the microprocessor, you write the program. Like that in the mind, you are writing your programs. And then the hands, legs are going to move accordingly. The linear rotary movement, you see that. So if I write pure things in my mind, I will act purely. If I input impure things, I am going to act impurely. Here is another example given from Mundakopanishad, Kathopanishad also. You see here, there is a chariot, and there is a driver of chariot, and there is a passenger behind. So the horses are compared to senses, mind is compared to the ropes, and the driver is compared to intelligence, and you, the soul, is compared to the passenger. Can somebody seeing this picture explain to me what you can infer from this picture? We'll send you the mic to you. Anybody can make an attempt? You raise your hand, mic will come to you. It's not very difficult. If you think a little bit, you can tell me what can you understand from this example, analogy. Anybody? Please raise the hand. Yeah. Yeah, what's your good name?
Divakar.
Yeah, Divakar. Go ahead.
The horses are compared to 5 senses, which are our 5 Gyanendriya.
Yes.
And mind controls these senses.
Correct.
And intelligence who controls the mind.
Correct.
And in sequential manner controls the senses. And the soul is the passenger who give instruction to intelligence accordingly controls the senses mind.
Correct. So in this world, if this is the way, like you rightly said that, if people act, then the chariot should go very smoothly, right? Yeah. Is people's life going smoothly or not so smoothly in this world?
Not.
And what is the reason for that? Can you guess?
Intelligence is not strong enough to control
Very good. Mind. Give him applause. Very good. Thank you. It's brilliant answer. Our intelligence is not strong enough to subdue the mind. You see, you can act by default or by design. For example, acting by default means you go for the lower things, which are not good for you. Acting by design means you design what I will do, what I will not do. Like for example, say one of your friend is pulling you, come let's go for drinking or smoking. If you say no to him, that means you have acted with your intelligence. If you say, what can I do? My friends are pulling me. They are going for a boozing party. I will go with them. Then you have been dragged with them. You have gone to them. Then you have acted with the mind, weak mind. That means your intelligence is not strong enough to subdue those things which are not good for you. So, therefore, like you see here, I have given a smoking habit. A boy is feeling, I am an engineer, I should at least know how to hold a cigarette, like that he feels. Smoking makes me feel cool. Is it really cool? They advertisement, they put it up like Niagara waterfalls, and a boy and girl are standing and they are smoking and they say, I feel very cool. They are simply making a fool out of you. Because you are putting fire inside the mouth, how can it make you feel cool? So, you see, this fellow says, oh, that's a bad habit, not good for me. It will ruin my health. Not only that, I may become addicted to it. Let me not get into wrong track. That means his intelligence is strong. He's able to say no to it. So, yes to good things and no to bad things. That means your intelligence is strong. Look at this chariot. Is it in control or not control? It's not in control. See the driver situation. Driver is a weak driver. He is overthrown. The horses are running mad in all directions. This is the situation of many modern day people. Because people have not understood how to, like Devaka rightly said, how to strengthen the intelligence, subdue the mind and subdue the horses. When you become slave of your mind, this is what happens. Mind makes you slave. So one makes man act madly. So we need spiritual intelligence. See, what is spiritual intelligence? It is not your IQ. When we talk about spiritual intelligence, it's different from IQ. See, there is a Mensa society where all the best IQ people come together. That is like a skill-based intelligence for acting in this world in academic field or something. Whereas when you talk about spiritual intelligence, it means Viveka Buddhi. Viveka Buddhi means to be able to distinguish the right from the wrong. What is long-term pleasure? What is short-term pleasure? What will benefit me? What will not benefit me? Say, if I show you a chocolate and 500 rupee note, which one will you choose? Will you choose a chocolate or a 500 rupee note? How many of you will choose a chocolate? If I show you, there is 1, 2, there are about 10 hands up. Okay. How many will choose a 500 rupee note? A good number of hands, yeah. So do you all know why they chose 500 rupee note? Because inside 500 rupee there are 500 chocolates. Whereas in the one chocolate, you want 1 versus 500. So therefore, one should think about what will make me happy in the long run, not just only today. That is spiritual intelligence. Like here you see, a father, mother and children are all happy here. You see them. Similarly, the father is compared to intelligence, mother is compared to mind, and the children to the senses. It's a very happy family. But if the man is not, the man is not strong and the children are very demanding and the wife is very demanding, then the family is a very miserable family. It's not a happy family. So this was all about the mind, intelligence, mind, senses, mechanism. Now in the second part, you're going to get the solution. What to do with the mind, what all we can do. I'm going to give you 6 practical solutions, which if you apply, then mind will be in your control and you can actually decide in life what you want to do and accordingly give direction to mind. Dear friends, think of this example. Your flood, can it do any good? Flood, you know what is flood? Can a flood do good or a dam can do good? Which one can do good? Dam, isn't it? Because a flood has no direction. Flood can carry away the cattle. It can kill human beings. It can demolish houses. It has tremendous energy, but has no direction. It ruins everything. Similarly, modern day youths, they have a lot of passion, a lot of energy, but it is often misdirected. It is not guided properly. So, managing your mind means creating a dam. Like sometimes your parents, teachers, and God through the scriptures, they put restrictions for you, like the parents, teachers, and God. It's like a dam. They put some restrictions. Don't do this, don't do that. But don't get frightened by those restrictions, because those disciplines will help you to make your mind like a dam and not remain like a flood. It is going to immensely benefit you. So, when I was traveling in the West recently, in one of the universities, I was asking them, because they have a Statue of Liberty which talks about freedom, freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom of action. So I asked them a question: is discipline required in life, or you want absolute freedom? Let me ask you the same question. How many of you feel discipline is required in life? Amazing. There are almost 90% hands are up. Thank you for your understanding. Like if you have a gas cylinder, you have a regulator. Without a regulator, there will be an explosion. Similarly, in a garden, you see there is a trimming scissor. When you trim the garden, it looks very elegant, neat. If you don't trim, the plants grow weirdly in different directions, isn't it? When you are sending out a kite in the sky, you got a spool in which you gradually release the spool. You just don't cut the rope and leave the kite up in the sky, it will get stuck. So we need discipline. So I'm going to teach you 6 practical disciplines. If you follow this, you can stop the mind chatter, and like the mad elephant behavior can be stopped. And you can become like a good elephant, as I showed you, which showed very good behavior, isn't it? See, mind is a storehouse of thoughts, unfulfilled desires, and previous experiences. It's not that mind is totally bad. Mind has got some good things also. For example, your mind has positive thoughts, negative thoughts, necessary thoughts, and wasteful thoughts. Tell me which one we should remove, which one we should keep. In this, yeah? Yeah? You need to keep positive thoughts with you, necessary thoughts with you, and negative and wasteful thoughts you should remove. That means mind has certain unwanted things which need to be removed. If you remove those thoughts, then your mind is peaceful. Everybody wants a calm mind. That's possible by removing these negative thoughts. And it is possible. Let us see how we will do that. That was about thoughts. Because everything starts from the thoughts only. You heard this saying in English? Watch your thoughts, they will turn into words. Watch your words, they will turn into actions. Watch your habits, it will turn into character. Watch your character, it will become your culture. Everything starts from a thought. So we want to have positive thoughts and necessary thoughts, and remove the negative thoughts and wasteful thoughts. And these are the desires. Everybody has so many desires stored in the mind. Some of them may be harmful, some of them may be good. So here is the first solution. In one of the famous books called Upadeshamrita, Srila Rupa Goswami says there are 6 urges in this world. If you control these 6 urges, you can be leader of the whole world, he says. This is a verse which says this. Vacho vegam, manasak krodha vegam, jihva vegam, udaropastha vegam, yetan vegan yo vishayet dhiraha, sarvam apimam pratvim sashishyad. These 6 urges should be controlled. See, when you feel the urge for passing urine or stool, you should not control. They are called mala. Mala should be removed from the body. But there are other urges which should be controlled. For example, vachavegam means speaking gossip, useless talk, rumor mongering, gossiping. That should be stopped. Because our tongue, you see, it has no bones, but the tongue can speak something which can make somebody beat us and break our bones. Because people sometimes don't control their tongue. They use some vulgar words and they get beaten up. So we have to control our tongue. Second thing, manasavegam means the urges of the mind. The mind has many impure demands, because of which mind makes a person run after so many things in this world. So mind has to be controlled. Vachavegam, manasavegam. Krodhavegam means anger. Getting irritated for small problems. Like for some people, they'll make a mole into a mountain. That's anger. And similarly, udaravegam, we say, some people tend to overeat food and have indigestion problem. And then jihva means some people cannot give up junk food, even though they have obesity. They cannot stop it because they have a tendency for eating junk food. They keep on eating, although they know it's not good for them. And upastha means attraction for the opposite sex. Actually, the scriptures allow married life, but they don't allow a person to become mad after opposite sex and waste a lot of time in that business. So the 6 urges, if one controls by sense control, we will see how one will do that. We will see that. See, here is the example Lord Krishna gives. Kurmongani va sarvashaka. He says, if you look at the picture of the tortoise, see, the tortoise progressively goes forward, but whenever there's a danger, he withdraws his senses inside and closes his, and shows the back. If you hit the tortoise with a stick on the back, nothing will happen to him. It's a hard back. Similarly, Lord Krishna says that your senses should only be utilized where they will bring benefit to you. Other times you have to withdraw. For example, talking to your friend is helpful for your progress in your academics. You can talk. Talking to another friend would degrade your mindset, your consciousness. Then you have to keep mum. Don't use your tongue. Similarly, we go to the temple, take darshan of the Lord. When we go to the temple, you see the Lord and you bow down to Him. Whereas when you see a dirty poster, then you close your eyes or you turn your eyes away. That means every sense can be used positively, and it can be, the 3 monkeys, don't see bad, don't hear bad, don't eat, and don't speak bad. So that is only talking negatively, that you should avoid the negative, but you can also use the senses for the positive. Like in the picture you see, a man is being pulled by all his senses. Eyes are pulling him to see beautiful forms. Nose is hankering for fragrances. Tongue is eager to eat something. Similarly, each one of his senses is pulling him. He is being dragged and he is becoming a slave of his senses, and he is suffering in this world. And this is possible if you adopt this tortoise technique. It's not that you have to control and keep quiet. Control yourself and then make further progress again. See, mind, if it is controlled, it becomes your best friend. If you don't control the mind, it can be the greatest enemy. Just see. If you don't control your mind, if you don't manage your mind, the very same mind will torment you. Therefore, boys commit suicide, you see that. Many people are subjected to depression. Many people are subjected to confusion and indecision. Many people are subjected to stress. All these things are because of uncontrolled mind. So the second solution is disciplined mind. The first one is about controlled senses, like a tortoise. Second one is discipline your mind. How do you discipline? We will see that. Here you see, can you say how many smartphones he has? He has 3. You can see, ask yourself, is smartphone my servant or smartphone my master? You see, if I sit in a Uber or Ola car, the driver should take me where I want to go, or he will take me where he wants to take me. Yeah? Where I want to go, correct, no? Imagine I tell the driver, take me to temple, and he takes me to liquor shop. That means the driver is not in my control. That is how our mind is at the moment. At the moment, honestly tell me how many times you don't want to go for something but mind drags you. You have experience? Correct? Yeah. That's what you are precisely talking. Actually, the smartphone is supposed to be your friend, but the very same smartphone can become your enemy. Nowadays, the teenagers are suffering so much from playing with the video games, PUBG and Blue Whale and all these games. They are not able to get out of it. It has become addictive. They are not able to study the academic subjects. And now YouTube, everything is there. Especially the internet pornography. It is extremely dangerous. I have one video with me which shows that every time you watch pornography videos, some portions of your brain are burnt here and there. They show in the video. Why? When a person is watching that sight of man-woman union, when he sees that, he becomes extremely excited about the prospect of repeating the same act, due to which some portions of the brain are burnt, and the doctors say that such a person becomes very dull. His attention span reduces, concentration reduces, he becomes very dull. Over a period of time, there are memory losses. There are videos now, you will find out. But today the whole world is having everything in YouTube now. So we are becoming slaves of our mind. Therefore, mind is compared to a knife. See, knife can be used by a surgeon for a good purpose, for saving someone's life. But the mind can also be used by a criminal to kill somebody and strangle him to death. Isn't it? So, we want to know how to use the mind positively, not misuse it. So, I am going to give you 5 solutions Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita. Mana prasada saumyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshuddhirityeta tapah manasamuchyate. He says, first thing he says, satisfaction. Cultivate satisfaction. By reading Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and all, he says. Why he says this? Don't make unhealthy comparison. Which means everybody in this world, is given some intelligence by God. Use your intelligence to study your subjects well and crack the marks as much as you can. Don't make unhealthy comparison. Somebody is better than you, take their guidance. Don't be envious of them. Somebody is inferior to you, help them. Don't ridicule them. So that is called as healthy comparison. Unhealthy means making a mockery out of those who are inferior to you and envying those who are above you. So cultivate satisfaction. Practice gratitude for what you have. Second is silence. He says, don't talk uselessly, don't do rumor mongering, gossiping, don't backbite people, don't talk ill of people. Speak honestly, truthfully. Either speak fitly or keep silent. He says, by this, lot of your time will be saved, mind will be peaceful. Tongue and mind are connected. Do you know that? When you speak something, the mind actually picturizes it. Therefore, control your speech and be silent, he says. Of course, if you can speak meaningfully, you can speak as many hours as you wish. Only we should keep silent if you are talking useless talk. Third is simplicity. Simplicity means like we dress simply, we speak simply, we avoid duplicity, which means we should always think of good for others and avoid duplicity. Like Mantra was very duplicitous. She went and spoiled Kaikeyi's mind. Shakuni was spoiling the mind of Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. So that is an example of duplicity. Avoid duplicity, have simplicity. Fourth one is self-control. So for self-control, you can practice this match formula. What is match? M for mercy, A for austerity, T for truthfulness, C for cleanliness, H for holy name. Now what is mercy? Don't unnecessarily torture the other living beings for your taste buds. Don't kill the poor animals. That is mercy. Austerity means there are many pleasurable things in this world like smoking, drinking, I told you. Even though they may give you some instant feeling, don't go for them. Stop engaging in them. That is austerity. And also, T means truthfulness. Don't gamble. Gambling means quick money or no money. Avoid gambling. And C means cleanliness. Everybody is allowed to marry and settle in a family life. That is not wrong. But illicit sex is prohibited in scriptures. Illicit sex means sex before marriage or sex outside marriage. Extramarital. That is prohibited. That is considered unclean. And H is the holy name, which I will tell you later about the chanting and meditation. So these things if you do, then you gain self-control by simply doing these things. And the last one is sanctification. Sanctification means how can you have a saintly mind? Except one's wife, one should see every woman as a mother. And one should not put hand in another person's pocket to loot his money. You can rightfully earn and engage, but don't touch others' pocket, like that he says. Treat others as you want to be treated, warmly. That is sanctification. So these 5 S's we call it: satisfaction, silence, simplicity, self-control, sanctification. If you follow even some of this, you will see your mind will be very calm, cool, collected. This is coming in 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 16th verse, 17.16. Okay, strengthen your intelligence by studying wisdom literature. Like if you study like Bhagavad Gita, what is good for me? What is bad for me? What is permanent? What is temporary? What habits will make me flourish? What will make me perish? Who am I? Why has God put me here? What is this world? How can I become happy? All these questions are answered, you see. And by this, the driver of the chariot can be made very strong. Then you can control the mind and senses. Yeah, this is what I was telling you. American Heritage Dictionary says that the capacity to acquire and apply knowledge is called intelligence. The faculty to reason things by logic and everything, analyze things and all. But actually spiritual means to discriminate. Like IQ means a score derived from a set of standardized tests and all they do. But this is only material intelligence. What we are talking about is spiritual intelligence is Viveka Buddhi. Okay, the fourth solution is very important one. Be mindful of what you associate with. You see, What type of books or novels you read? In America, one fellow wrote a detective novel. After reading which, 10 detectives did several murders they did. And they found that these people have used techniques from the book only. That means whatever book you read, it goes into your head. That forms scripts in your mind. On the other hand, if you read books like Gita, Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Ramayana, then in India you will see Gandhi watched the Ramayana drama when he was in 5th standard. And then it had a tremendous impact on his personality in the later years to come, and he formed a great character in his life. So what books we read, and what type of movies we watch. Because nowadays many people are watching ghost movies, horror movies. After watching the movie, you go and sleep at home. Suddenly in the window, you'll see some skeleton, laughing like this, isn't it? Why do you unnecessarily develop phobia watching such movies? So you have to decide what do you want to watch. And the music we hear, doctors have found out that the 120 decibel loud rock music, it disturbs the biological rhythm. You know that? It's like putting a person in a rickshaw and toppling the rickshaw. It's like that. On the other hand, the classical music is very soothing and very calming. Even the plants have been tested. You put classical music, the plant flourishes. You put 120 decibel rock music, the plant dries up. They have experiments done in the West. So what music do you hear? Do you disturb your mind or do you calm your mind? The choice is yours. And what type of friendships you keep? Friendships play a very important role in your life. Therefore, there's a saying in English, you tell me the name of your 4 friends and I can tell you what type of person you are. It is said, birds of the same feather flock together. So the kind of friendships you keep, that decides your character, your personality, your behavior, your attitude, your thinking, your very existence itself. So choose your friends wisely. So there are 3 types of friends: uplifting friends, neutral friends, or degrading friends. So you have to naturally go for uplifting friends. See, this is Gigo principle, you call it. Whatever garbage you put in, that will come out. Garbage in, garbage out, we call it. So you see, due to social media, we are putting so much into our heads. On the other hand, if you put good in, then good will come out. So ultimately it is in your hands, the choice of what you take in. So these are the things I told you now. The books, the movies, music, friends. It's called A for association. B for books like Bhagavad Gita. C for chanting. This is another solution, 5th one. The mantra meditation, like I am carrying a mala with me wherever I travel. I am not the only one chanting. Once I saw in America in one of the airport, in the prayer room, there was a Muslim, there was a Christian, and I also sat next to him and I was also chanting. All of us had mala with us. And they were like Muslim was chanting namaz, Christian was chanting his Hail Mary, and I was chanting this Hare Krishna. So by chanting the mantra, there are many benefits. Dr. Herbert Benson says, these 4 things: a quiet environment, a comfortable position, and repeating a prayer called chanting. Like some people chant Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Some people, like I chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's very, very calming to mind. You can just chant with your fingers also. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 times you chant and move your fingers, 5 plus 5, 108 times. Try every day for a week. And a passive attitude free from thoughts, he's saying. See, here is a IIT professor. He says the effects of Hare Krishna Mahamantra on stress and depression. There is a book by the doctorate thesis by David Brian Wolf. He writes there that students who get thoughts like I am worthless, they train themselves to replace these thoughts with thoughts that are rewarding and supportive of self-esteem, he says. That means if you feel inferiority complex, by chanting, you can evaporate it and you can feel inner strength and confidence. This is the research thesis I told you. PhD thesis on effects of Hare Krishna Mantra chanting is done by an American. What benefits you get by this? See, here is the neurologist study showing the Mahamantra could help anxiety and even schizophrenia also. You know what is schizophrenia? Schizophrenia means when somebody is thinking that some group of people are hatching a plot to trouble me. That type of constant fear. Yeah. See, here is a Harvard University research. The yellow zone shows the sattva, which is how many of you heard about sattva? You know what is sattva? Okay, some sattva guna actually means calm, clear, and creative thinking. The yellow zone comes for those who are chanting Mahamantra meditation. And below that is dark zone, which is tamoguna, we call it, or ignorance. Above is hyperactivity. So, and also the sattvic food yields creativity, calmness, and thinking. I'll show you. These are passionate foods, which are too bitter, too salty, too sour, hot, pungent, and all this fish, meat, eggs, and all these things. And sattvic foods lead to calm, clear, creative thinking. That is also something calming the mind. Jaisa anna, vaisa man, it is said. Whatever type of food you eat. Yeah. See here, you can see the idea about what is sattvic foods. Whole grains, milk, ghee, beans, legumes, and nuts and seeds, sweet fruits, and all these things. Rajasic food, tamasic foods are given. So, if you choose to eat sattvic foods, you can calm the mind more easily, very quickly. It leads to longevity, he says. The plate of prasad. See, by eating sattvic food, you don't become weak. Even elephant is a vegetarian. Although it's very mighty and strong. This is a YouTube video, why meat is unhealthy. If you put it, it can tell you that it has been associated with almost all the major diseases, he says. Disease of the heart, malignant tumors, respiratory problems, many other things. You can see diabetes, Alzheimer's disease. Yeah. I can say more on this, but I don't want to dwell on this because we need to show the other things. Actually, there is something called as adrenaline secretion. Sir was also talking about that. That happens due to fight or flight situation. Like when you kill an animal, it tries to escape. When it cannot escape, it becomes violent. So animal product is a product of violence and fear. If you eat that, you also develop violence and fear, which is called fight-flight mode, which causes adrenaline. Scientifically, we can explain that. That was part 2. I gave you 6 solutions, what you can do with the mind. So now I have two more parts I have. Now you can choose between the 2. I will do one out of the 2. You want to know about keeping my positive mindset in the midst of difficulty or saying no to bad habits. Which one you want to hear? Which one? Okay, positive mindset in difficulty, you can raise your hand. Let us see. How many hands are up? Okay, how many of you want to learn to say, how to say no to bad habits? Oh, there are equal number of hands up. Okay, then I'll speed up. Okay. You see, there are 5 undercurrents from where your thoughts have come. Like the false ego, the previous life scripts, conditionings, upbringing by your mother and father and grandfather, and the friends association you keep, and your willpower. See, out of this, the 4 things you cannot change. For example, your upbringing by parents, already done. And your association of friends is not very easy to change often. And the previous life scripts you have brought in this life. And our own false ego. But the 5th one is one thing which can reverse all the other 4, which is willpower. If you, like I'll show you here. This I already showed you. See, this slide looks theory, but it is very, very important theory. You see, it says that the quality of thought decides your attitudes, beliefs. And also, the positive thoughts generate energy and strength. Which means positive, the scientists have found out now, thought itself is like a potent weapon. So, therefore, the kind of thought that arises in your head, if one arises pure thoughts, then pure words, then pure action, everything ultimately follows from that one thing, from the thought. Therefore, for you to get pure thoughts, I told you those different things. I told you what type of books you read, what type of movies you watch, what type of friendships you keep. So, one has to pay attention to those things. On the other hand, negative thoughts are the ones which rob our power and strength away. So, Lord Krishna says in Gita also that whatever way you think right now, that creates your future. Just like all of you, first of all, you have a desire in the mind. Then you make a blueprint. Then you build the house. Like that, your thoughts only turn into practical things in life. Therefore, ask yourself what type of thought process I have. Observe yourself. This is how your personality is formed. You see here? First of all, you get thoughts. And the thoughts are arising from the inputs, memory. Memory inputs lead to thoughts, thought leads to consciousness, then your attitude, your perception, and then your behavior. And this keeps repeating, and that's how your personality is formed with certain attitudes. So, you can activate your willpower and strengthen it and subdue negative thoughts. Like I told you, what type of foods you eat, and your spiritual knowledge cultivation by study of the wisdom literature books. Sattvic habits like rising early in the morning, sleeping early at night. Many students sleep at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It's not very good. 10 to 2 sleep is very, very important for you. If you want to know, go to the YouTube and ask why the top-notch CEOs across the globe, they get up at 4 a.m. You can put it in the YouTube, you will get it. Why top-notch CEOs are getting up at 4 a.m. You will see that. They have given a 4 or 5 minutes video on how important it is to sleep between 10 to 2. So if you sleep early and rise early, keep good company. With all these things, you can build your willpower. And that will bring out the yellow color which I have shown. All innate qualities will come out of you. In the roles you play, routines you go through, responsibilities you shoulder, relationships that you cherish. In all these things, your innate good qualities will come out. Okay, so I speeded that up. I will conclude with this, saying no to bad habits. Last one. This is very important for you in the final year when you are going to take up a job. The company interviewers are thinking like this. This fellow has no control over eating. How can he be fit for our work? He never comes to work fresh because he's always drunk. Look at this guy. Every 15 minutes he wants a smoke break. How can we employ him? He's always unwell. He's sick. We can't rely on him. He gets into unnecessary affairs and he can't work professionally. He has a broken marriage and he has so many bad habits. He is not attentive in work. So many companies are unhappy with this type of students. See, he's a spoiled brat. He can't do any nice work. He fights with everybody. He's quarrelsome because that is the mindset he has. This fellow has too many psychological issues and is never confident at work. So these are all coming from thought, word, action, habit, character, destiny. So the mind is everything what you think you become. So this is what I told you. These are activities which if you give up, you can completely change your personality. This I told you, no illicit sex, no meat eating. See here, it says here, when the animals are slaughtered, their minds are filled with negative emotions of fear and hatred. When we eat their meat, our minds also become filled with similar negative emotions. So simply by taking vegetarian food, pure food, you will see the negative emotions can be very easily surpassed. Similarly, intoxication creates an illusory sense of well-being and it worsens our external situation and internal ability to face the situation. It leads to perpetual negative feelings, he says, of worthlessness and hopelessness. Similarly, gambling also. It leads to daydream and fantasizing. It doesn't take you to real world. So these are the 4 things which if you do, these 4. How do we give up these habits also is explained next. So we are calling it as a gimme means G for gambling, I for intoxication, M for meat eating, I for illicit sex. Gimme, gimme, gimme. You have to give up the gimme. What are the effect of bad habits? Many different type of problems. Crimes, social loss, financial loss, so many things. Therefore, many company owners are worried about interviewing boys and getting boys and girls from the colleges. They are looking for people with good habits. So how do we change our conditioning? This I already told you. See, the habits are such that once you form a habit, if you remove H, habit remains. If you remove A, bit remains. If you remove B, it remains. It doesn't go away very easily, isn't it? But it is not impossible to give up a bad habit. It's possible to completely stop a bad habit. I'll show you how. We have to change our mental scripts. Then we can change our habits. Let us say, how do we do that? This is a 3S formula, we call it. Starve the bad habits. Abstain from bad people and bad objects. You should make an effort at least. If somebody is smoking every day, at least make a decision to smoke, once in 2 days. And then make it once a week. then make it once a semester, then give it up. Make an effort to starve the bad habits. And don't just stop, supplement with other good habits and good association. And stay away from tempting environment. These are the three things. If you go to circle of people who smoke, then you will smoke naturally. Like if a calf associates with a pig, he is going to eat some dirty thing. If a calf is mixing with another calf, he will go and drink milk. So choose your association wisely and starve the bad habits. Here I am going to tell you something very valuable and interesting. This is how your self-change comes. There are three things you have to change. It's called as ABT, we call it. Attitude, behavior and thinking. I have given you in a very crisp manner, point-wise I have given you so that you can immediately apply as soon as you learn it. How do you change your attitude? You see, for the habits you picked up, don't blame your friends because it was your choice to copy the bad habit. Like, monkey made friendship with a crocodile. That was his mistake. Therefore, a crocodile took him to the middle of the lake and then the monkey was lamenting, I made a mistake. So take responsibility for the mistakes you do in life. Don't blame your friends or the world around you. And accept responsibility for careless indulgence and for picking up wrong company. So this one thing you do, like for example, imagine yesterday you talked to somebody at night for 3 hours. Later on you felt it wasn't necessary to waste my time. Half an hour I would have finished off. And what we generally tell others, oh, he wasted my time. We say, he didn't waste your time. You chose to waste your time. So take responsibility for it. Say that I'll be more careful next time I talk to him. I will not waste my 3 hours. Accept responsibility. Unfortunately, in this world, when things go wrong, people blame others. When things go right, they raise their collar and say, I did it. So we should take responsibility. And the second thing, 2 things you have to do to change your thinking. How do you change your thinking? Observe yourself. How this habit came in my life? Where did I get it from? I refuse this to hook me. Say, for example, one boy has a habit of gossiping, wasting a lot of time like a chatterbox, talking to others, useless things. So how did I get this habit? How can I diffuse it? I will give up company of those who induced me to pick up this bad habit. That is called as self-awareness. After that, change your thinking by positive attitude. I will never waste time in gossiping. That's positive attitude. Negative attitude means, oh, I will get sucked into the company of friends who will gossip and I can't run away. I have to be with them. That is negative thinking. These 2 things only you have to do for changing your thinking in your mind. Do self-awareness means observe yourself and think positively. Just 2 things. And for changing your behavior, ask yourself what is right behavior, what is wrong behavior. Choose the right behavior and discipline the right behavior. That's all. So one example I gave you, say you're sleeping at 2 o'clock. Now you came to know it's not good for your health. You want to sleep at 11. So every week, just shift it by half an hour. And then start rising earlier and earlier. So what is right? Right behavior is to sleep at 10. And then you can rise at 4 also. And morning time you can, like we have memorized thousands of shlokas in the early morning hours. Like I sleep at 9 and get up at 3. So when I get up at 3 in the morning, actually scriptures say that morning 1 hour is equal to daytime 4 hours. In the early morning, it will just, your mind is like a clean slate in the early morning hours. Also just like on the road also traffic is nil, correct, in the early morning hours? Similarly, people's brain traffic is also nil. Everybody is sleeping. Therefore, there are no social media interactions. The whole globe is free actually. You can memorize things very well. So if you want to get that good habit, know what is right habit, and then choose the right habit, and then discipline the right habit by repeatedly doing it. Then you change your behavior. And then this is man means mind, tra means liberate or deliver. It's called mantra, means that which gives freedom to your mind by the chant. Like here is Srila Prabhupada, who took this Mahamantra from India to America. His guru told him that Indians are neglecting their own dharma. You go to America and teach them this. If they do it, maybe Indians will copy after seeing them. So when he went to the West in 1965, he taught this to the most degraded hippies who had left the homes and left their education. They were fully into all kinds of bad habits. You don't have to tell about them. They were counterculture people. And he went and sang like this and turned them all into such great souls. Those who were drinking liquor, now they are drinking milk. Those who are eating cow flesh, now they don't even eat onion garlic now. They have become so pure and so advanced. That is by chanting the mantra, Yan Nama Shruti Matrena Puman Bhavati Nirmalaha. By Nama Shruti, the chitta becomes nirmal, it says. It will cleanse the mind. Just like a mirror covered with dirt, dust or something, you take a wet cloth and wipe it. Like that, the chanting of mantra wipes the impurities in the mind. So now, any habit you want to cultivate in your life, these 3 steps you have to do. For example, somebody want to crack centum in mathematics, for example. M2 maths is very tough, people say. Say you want to crack maths. What you should do? First thing is set milestones. And you can't eat a watermelon like this. You have to cut it into pieces. Set milestones. Then have some role models, people who are already expert at it. Then have some peers. Work with peers. A group of people who are doing the same, pursuing the same goal. Stay in company of them. And also have some role model from where you can learn what to do. And then set milestone, little by little. These are the 3 things you have to do. Any habit, I'm telling you. Whether it is academic habit or spiritual habit, by doing this. For example, if one is a devotee of God, he sets milestones. These are the things I want to give up and these are things I want to do. Then he connects with role models. Then he connects with equal peer friends also. Okay, now I am done. Good, I could complete it. It's a very big session. But since you all are very you paid rapt attention and enthusiastic, I could complete it. Now I can take one question, sir. Is that time 5 minutes? Okay. No questions at all? Only one question? Or you can recollect one good point you liked today, which you are carrying home with you. Who would like to recollect one point? You raise the hand, we will send you the mic. Don't feel shy. Actually, the principles I taught are not very difficult. We made it very simple with very pictorial examples for you. Okay, I taught you 6 ways to manage your mind. Anybody remembers one of them? Anybody? Yeah, there. Yes. Give the mic. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Sir, you said non-veg eating is bad to health and it is causes many health issues.
Correct.
Sir, we can also cut the trees also, no, sir?
No, when you kill the trees, that is also harm. I mean, we are also injuring them.
No, sir. I'm saying that if you take vegetarian food, we are also cutting them, no, sir?
Yes, that is true.
Then,
but they have least developed nervous system compared to the animals.
No, sir. Adrenaline is not developed with them. Sir, you said that when the animals are killed, fight or flight hormone, adrenaline is released.
Correct.
In the animals.
Yeah, correct.
Then can't it be released in plants, sir?
Actually, the trees, it doesn't happen with the trees. You can check the medical reports say that only it happens when you do the animals. Because trees actually, even if you don't kill the trees, like they drop away the fruits, vegetables and all. If a vegetable is in a tree like brinjal or tomato, if you don't pluck it, on their own they fall. They are already yielding. You are not killing them to get the thing. Some plants we kill, like we uproot the things like a beetroot or carrot and potato and all like that. But otherwise the plants continue to grow and we only take the fruits we take. But there is sin involved even while killing the trees and plants also. But Lord Krishna says that if you offer that vegetarian food to me, then I take away the sinful reactions, he says. Whereas he doesn't say that with non-vegetarian food. He says, Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam, Yome, Bhaktya, Prayachati. He says, if the vegetarian food is offered to him in love, he takes away the sinful reactions. And then it becomes prasad, we call it. All right? Thank you. Thank you for your question. Yeah, thank you. Anybody would like to recollect one point out of the 6 points I told you? Because the topic was art of harnessing mind power. So I told you, mind has 3 impurities, I told. Who knows what are the 3 impurities in the mind? Anybody remembers? Please.
Lust, anger, greed.
Very good. Give him applause. Very good. So, those 3 impurities, there are 6 ways I told you by which you can gradually, manage your mind. Over a period of time, you can complete management of your mind can be done with those 6 ideas. Anybody remembers one of them? One example? Because that's what is the solution you got today. Mind problem, I don't have to tell you. You all know better. You know what is mind problem, isn't it? Do I have to tell you? That you know it already. But you need to remember the solutions you received today. Any one solution? He clearly told the 3 problems in the mind. Lust, anger, greed. That's good. Any one solution? I told you solution from the point of view of senses, the mind, the intelligence, and habits from various angles. 6 solutions I gave you. Anybody? Anybody is raising hand?
Starve the bad habits.
Starve the bad habits, and after that one more thing you have to do. After starving bad habits, what you should do? Supplement them with
Good habits.
good habits. And then third yes was stay away from
Bad people.
tempting environment and bad people. Give him an applause. Very good. Thank you. That was for the habits I said. Very good. Anything else you remember like this? See, he remembered the triple S formula. He remembered. Very good. Thank you. Any other thing you remember? What did I say about the senses? What should we do with our senses? Do you remember? One example that Krishna gave in Gita for the senses. What do we do with the senses? Because, there's a hand up. Please give it.
So just like the tortoise, when it is in a harmful environment, it goes inside its shell,
Yes.
and when it is in a
Favorable
developing environment,
Yes.
it comes out. Similarly, we have to control our senses when we are in the wrong environment or illicit environment, and when we are in good environment, we can engage our senses.
Very good. Understood that well. Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Sankarshan.
Sankarshan. Very good. Brilliant. He not only remembered the example, he also explained it very well. Very good. Thank you. You also explained well. What's your good name? Yeah. Nagamogan also explained those 3 years formula. See, this is how you can take home with you some of the lessons you learn. These are the things you can jot down and keep with you and think about them. Do you remember 5 S's I told you? Mana prasada samyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshuddhirityeta tapamana samuchyate. 5 S's I told you. Anybody remembers one of those S's? Yeah. Who said that? Is somebody saying answer? Give them. Yeah. What's your name?
Sriman sir.
Sriman, which yes you remember?
Satisfaction, silence,
Yes.
self-control, simplicity,
And sanctification.
and
Very good. Amazing. Remembered all the 5 S's. So, silence, satisfaction, silence, self-control, simplicity, and sanctification of one's existence. Very good. So, these 5 are in 17th chapter, 16th verse in Bhagavad Gita. So, he gives if you implement this, one verse, Chanakya says, 3 things you should be satisfied with, he says. Santosha trishu kartavyo swadare bhojane dhane trishu chaivana kartavyo swadhyaya japadanayo. You know what he says? You should be happy with your own wife, he says. Don't look for other women, he says. Similarly, you be happy with your own food cooked at home. Don't eat out in hotel, he says. That will spoil your belly. Then he says, swadare bhojane dhane. Whatever money you earn and keep in your pocket, that much only spend. Don't use credit card. Or don't take loan, he says. See, Chanakya, how intelligent he is. He says, be satisfied. That's the meaning of satisfaction, he says. And 3 things you should not be satisfied. Studying spiritual literature like Bhagavad Gita, never say that, yes, I've already read it once. Don't say that. We have to repeatedly read them and understand them very deeply. Similarly, Japam, chanting of the Nama of the Lord, we should never say that, yes, I have chanted. As and when you get time, keep on chanting. Just like Tukaram used to do, Jai Jai Ramakrishna Hari. We should always chant the Nama of the Lord. Never get satisfied, he says. Similarly, giving charity to God's service to sick, needy and poor. Don't feel hesitant. Be liberal in that, he says. So in this way, these 5 S's very beautifully, Sriman, he remembered all 5 of them amazingly. Very good. That's very nice. So that was about the mind. And senses, he told the tortoise, very good. That example, remember, senses. And intelligence, one of our earlier friends, Divakar, I think, he said that. He told about how you strengthen the intelligence. How do you strengthen your intelligence? Anybody? See, the driver should be made stronger so he can subdue the ropes and the horses, the mind and the senses. So what is the method of making your intelligence very strong? Intelligence strong means your willpower will become strong. How do you make it strong? Yeah, somebody is saying the answer. If they can raise the hand, you can raise the hand, Mike will come to you. I think. You were saying that, one of you here? How do you make your intelligence stronger? Driver of the chariot. How do you make him strong? Yes? Anybody? Somebody was saying here. I think they're shy, I think. Anybody? One of the, Divakar gave the example very nicely. We can ask him only. How do you make the driver of the chariot strong, Divakar? You can say that.
By giving good inputs or spiritual inputs, we can strengthen our intelligence.
Yeah, how do you give the spiritual input to the intelligence? How do you do that?
By reading scriptures.
By reading scriptures, that is true. It's very good. Give him applause. Very good. Yeah, because, see, scripture means what? Scripture is a compass. It gives you direction. What is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what will be long-lasting happiness, what is temporary happiness. Very good. So by giving those right inputs and acting according to the law of God. So by this you will see that intelligence is made very strong and sharp and focused and one-pointed. Then you get clear direction in life. Like you see, I have been speaking last more than an hour. You saw such a clarity you saw. This knowledge is not mine. I have to honestly admit, I am just taking from Bhagavad Gita and giving you. How much clarity is there in the wisdom you can see. There is not even an iota of ambiguity. So that was brilliant. So you know how to strengthen your intelligence, how to control your senses, how to control your mind, and how to follow the 3S formula for your habits. So many of the solutions you all have covered. And amongst all the solutions, as I told you, the topmost solution is, easiest solution is, even if you're sitting in a park, just sit down, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and chant this mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Or if you say, I am a Christian or I am a Muslim, then chant whatever mantra your gurus have taught you in those religions. Basically, capital G, God is only one person only. It's not that there is a competition between different gods. Ultimate Supreme is only one. So then you follow those practices, what is given in Quran or what is given in Bible. You follow those things. But everybody, I can say, whether you are a Muslim, Christian or a Hindu, if you follow those chant and the namaz they do, or the Christians chant the Hail Mary, you will get the same benefit what anybody gets by chanting this mantra, because ultimate person is only one, Supreme. You do that, and that's very, very rewarding. So after this class, I do this Gita in a Nutshell course in Boston and in Brooklyn, New York, and also in San Jose and Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas also. We are doing this course called Gita in a Nutshell. It has 4 sessions. It has self-awareness for a stable life, and mastermind behind the mysterious universe, and, how to catch fish without getting wet, which means law of karma, and then higher dimensional science. So we do this type of sessions, and this is my YouTube. You will find many of these lectures. You will find, and in this YouTube channel, if you go, you can look for one playlist called Behavioral Science for Youths. You can find that. There are more than 85 lectures which are all directed for college students. You will find it helpful. Many things, like for example, how to expand your memory muscles, how to remember large amount of things, store them in the mind. There is one session on that. And balance between our profession and our life. So many things like that are available there. You can see them at your leisure. But I'm very thankful to you, not only for your participation and rapt attention, but you all sat through for a very long time. I'm very grateful to you, very thankful to you. I live in Pune, ISKCON temple. It's called ISKCON NVCC, we call it, New Vedic Cultural Center. If you go to Google and put ISKCON NVCC, New Vedic Cultural Center, you will get details about the temple. It's a big temple, 6 acres. Any of you come to Pune, you can come. And here I live in Hyderabad, ISKCON Abids. Here I come in 3rd week. 2 weeks in Pune, 3rd week in Hyderabad, and 4th week I go around India to some 15 places I go in India. Yearly 3 months I go to US. So just as I'm addressing all of you, I address similarly in all the universities all across the globe. I go to schools, I go to colleges. One of my goals is to impart this knowledge to youths, and I don't want to see them commit suicide. It's very painful for me when I see that, because God has given life as a gift for you. Don't waste it. Utilize it, uplift yourself, and become a blossomed personality in your lives. So I'm very grateful to you. NIT Warangal is a premier institute and famous one, and you all are very intelligent students, come from different parts of India here, and you have come on great merit. It's not very easy to get into a college like this, and you have got a seat here. You have good education, and I wish you all success in all your earnest endeavors, in your academic success, in your spiritual success in the time to come. I especially wish to appreciate our Professor Hare Krishna. He has this value education club. He has written a book also on value education. So I really appreciate him, because he has a heart to see students get values and flourish in their lives. He himself is a very good teacher. He can give the seminar better than me, because he is a teacher of all of you. But he invited me today, and also our director, sir. I thank him for giving me this opportunity and being with all of you this evening. Thank you.
It's a really 90 minutes wonderful journey for all of us, starting around 6 o'clock to around 7:30, 92 minutes of wonderful, nice, comfortable journey. And it's really remarkable that the chief guest, Shriman Radheshyamdas ji, has taken us to various aspects of our life. See, many times we may be giving importance to other aspects rather than thinking of myself. Here, how to live comfortably. When you're able to control, as Swamiji said, when you're able to control your mind, many of the problems are 100% solved. And not only he has given us the aspects of problems, he has given wonderful solutions. And I'm really grateful for Radheshyam ji for sparing his valuable time, coming all the way and addressing us. Let us thank him from the core of our heart. Please stand up and giving him a wonderful applause. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for coming us and gracing our occasion. We are so grateful for you. And at the same time, I thank the administration, Director Sir, Professor N.V. Raman Rao Garu, Dean Student Affairs, Professor Ravi Kumar, and Registrar Govardhan Rao Garu, and all my gurus, Professor Y.N. Reddy Garu, Professor Ramanamurthy, and my best friend Ajit, and other colleagues who spared their valuable time, along with young and dynamic friends and the members of Value Education Club. Thank you, friends. Have a good day. So nice of you.